Before resuming the story of Angelica Rochechu's Christmas play of 2005, I write a bit about Rosechu, one of the earlier Rosechu's and Rosechu's psychotype special and guardians. Rosechu heralded from a Rosechu in Rosechu village near the Ultimate Emerald Shrine. He was born in 324 BC and was promoted by the village's elder after connecting with the distant Ultimate Emerald, as well as the heavens and the cores and matrices of the universe timeline and the alpha mega point of all existence, and guiding and protecting many of the Rosechu's and Rosechu's with a divine guidance and life power. Rosechu had also personally met and worked with Emmanuel herself and himself back then. Because Emmanuel can be one or the other, either gender or whichever. But personally, Emmanuel is a woman, so there. In our day here in the 2020s. Back then, guy. Anyway, where was I? He worked with Emmanuel and the other gods and goddesses and earned his way up to being a god as well in service and appreciation of the gods, of the God of gods and Lord. Rosechu had foreknown he would be the one to help guide Jesus Christ of Nazareth as he came into his godlyhood. By the time Jesus had prayed for the direct guidance, Rosechu had made preparations to confirm the leaders and elders would keep the village of shrine safe as well. When Jesus made his prayer in similar thoughts and wording as Rosechu Prime had spoken during the play, Rosechu had teleported from the village to where Jesus Christ was after waking from the test of temptations and amidst his troubled thoughts and questions, amidst his transition. Also, Rosechu had talked with Magichan Rosechu Prime during his time when Magichan himself went back in time to visit Jesus, and he met Rosechu prior to Jesus' first resurrection. Rosechu had physically teleported his body and mind and soul into the heavens and universe core to emerge into his next iteration long after that. But just to mention all this part, because I'm going to eventually talk about this from the moment this gets recorded. The Ultimate Emerald is the one emerald, and there are 8 Master Emeralds, counting the one that Knuckles has been guarding. And then, of course, after that, there are not 7 Chaos Emeralds, there are 8 Chaos Emeralds, the orange one. And, of course, there are 8 Chaos Crystal Balls as well. There's an orange one there also. And the Chaos Emeralds have come about from the Ultimate Emerald itself, as it was a center point, and long ago, before sometime in the BCs, I think it was like 450 something, I forget, 459 BC. I have it written down. But anyway, essentially at one point around there, the Ultimate Emerald became overwhelmed and shattered, and all that was left of it was shards. The core of the Ultimate Emerald that zoomed and ended up literally within my body, literally, and the Chaos and the 8 Chaos Emeralds put on strewn throughout. And before then, the Ultimate Emerald was in the center, and the 8 Master Emeralds were surrounding it at that shrine, that very shrine. And also when the Ultimate Emerald shattered and all that, the Master Emeralds went into hiding as well and transitioned elsewhere. And then eventually Knuckles found his Master Emerald, and the orange Master Emerald became the Master Sunstone under Flame the Sunbird's guidance and watch. And the other 6 were around the Earth somewhere else. Orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet lights beam in a line on the edge of the stage. The scenery is changed, and Angelica narrates. So Jesus found his... Take 2. So Jesus found his own guidance from within himself with focus from his visions. He wrote what he saw. Then on his next guidance, he started his ministry by locating and taking in his first disciples. The stage is lit with a ship on stage left, with Inuyasha as James and Wild as John on board, talking with a male Rosechu who played Zebedee. And on stage right, Punchy as Peter with 2 other male Sanchos played Simon and Andrew, casting a net. Jesus walked towards the center of the stage and called to Peter and his brothers, "Come with me, and I shall make you into fishermen." Peter, Simon, and Andrew were drawn by the conviction and left their net to follow Jesus. Jesus called up to the ship, "Come with me, and I shall make you into fishermen." James and John nodded and cast the torn net and left the side, and Zebedee they left the ship and Zebedee to follow Jesus. And then Zebedee saw this really got angry. He shouted out there, "Hey, get back here on this boat!" But his words fell on deaf ears. And breaking it, there's your meme right there. "Hey, get back here on this boat!" Jesus and his disciples walked to the center stage, and Jesus preached to the audience. "Follow the words in light power as you shall be guided and well and saved." The crowd of the cast gather around Jesus as he speaks. "All of you are the salt and light of the earth. But if the salt loses its savor, it is nothing and must be cast underfoot. And if a light loses its glow, the path grows dark. So I tell all of you, never lose your savor, never lose your glow. Let your light shine so all may see your good and good works and intentions. And they will be inspired to improve on themselves and shine brighter and healthier and longer. I do not come to destroy, but to fulfill, as all of you fulfill the lives, scribes, prophecies as well. Do not be righteous by ignoring these wise words of prophet and guidance. It is to be denied entry into neo-life and the kingdom therein." Sachi Primus Jesus summarizes each teaching over the course of the 5 minutes. Then Angelica narrates as the scene is changed. Jesus' healing ministry had spread famously everywhere as he taught and healed others, as well as answered the questions of the doubtful with insight and wisdoms. And then a montage of various Sachus and Roshus from the cast came forward with their ailments and were healed by Jesus. Bubbles as Angelica gave thanks to the Lord. Bubbles as Anna gave thanks to the Lord in fulfilling the prophecies. John the Baptist behind the bars asked Jesus his questions, and Jesus answers wise and true. Those who were possessed were cleared of the demons and devils. There was a moment where Jesus had broken bread and fish and satisfied all who ate of his kindness and love from the morsels. The pianist played the tune of a thunderstorm as the two on board ran to Jesus and told him to bunker down. But then Jesus rebuked the wind and the storm, and the two were amazed to see sunshine and a peaceful tune suddenly playing. Angelica narrates as all this goes on. While Sancho as Lazarus and Elisa as his sister Martha gave praise and kind words to Jesus, and Lazarus was in bed sick as Martha ran to fetch Jesus. Jesus sees Lazarus and Jesus sees Lazarus and tells Martha that he was sleeping and Jesus would return to wake him out of sleep. News of Lazarus in a grave for 4 days gave Jesus reason to assure Martha of his resurrection. Then Jesus sees the covered Lazarus in the grave and weeps because he loved Lazarus. Then Jesus told Martha to move the stone in faith of God. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, I thank you for hearing me and hearing me always, but in witness of the people I've told with faith and goodness, so they may believe you have sent me. Lazarus, come forth! Lazarus moans and walks through the grave's entrance and removes the cloth from his eyes. By the way, for the record, while Sancho's voice, he sounds similar to Luke Skywalker. Period. He does not have a country accent, despite what some may have misportrayed of him. Luke Skywalker. He has a voice like him. Anyway, he's like, what has happened? Martha hugs Lazarus and thanks Jesus. Another scene, Jesus took Peter, James, and John to center stage. The lights dim, Jesus transformed into bright light. Sanchi Prime had used flash to simulate that. 2 second squadron Sanchis playing Moses and Elias teleport beside Jesus and talked with him for a moment in Peter, James, and John's amazement. After the two teleported away, the disciples offered to build tabernacles, and a spotlight shone down on Jesus, and Magic Chan said from off stage aloud, Jesus is my son. I am pleased with him. Hear him well. The disciples were afraid, but Jesus told them, "Do not be afraid," with a touch. Another scene, Jesus enters the temple of God with a stage laid out with vendors and tables full of merchandise that were being bought and sold. Jesus cast the vendors away from their tables and flipped them over. Then he shouted aloud, "It's written, this is a house of prayer. But with this, it's been made into a den of thieves. I really don't like this." The vendors collected the goods and scattered. Jesus stepped into the front and center of the stage in exiting the temple of God. Lavesh meets him there as they talk. "Lavesh, my guide and friend, I have done and overdone my work as Lord and God in guidance of light, power, and the Lord, my past self, and the good gods." "Indeed, you have done and do very well. All appreciate and praise you in good faith." "I am truly humbled and grateful. I truly feel good in soul and fulfillment, and seeing everyone's kind faces and hearing their kind words is a real blessing. Oh wow, I am feeling tired. It's so very tough to be Lord and God on earth. Every time someone asks me a brain bender of a question, the only solvents I have is connecting with the heavens and the universe core for a simple answer, direct enough that I couldn't put it there myself. When my brain goes numb. I have had to go through similar with the Sanchis and Rosechus in my village. It was overwhelming, even taking it one at a time. But over time, and with deep breaths and meditation with rest, it shall become easier. Yeah, you're right. And that's nothing compared to what I've foreseen of Judas. Good grief, I do not look forward to that day. If I knew when exactly and if I was able to avert it, well, it is as it is needed to be done as the prophecy foretells. I don't agree with it, but I gotta get on with it anyway. Quite right. Another scene I forgot to mention, where the ship is a sail on the waters of the stage and Jesus walks on the water. Jesus urges Peter to come down with no doubt and with faith. Punchy as Peter steps down and slips and falls into the water, Jesus helps him back up and asks him, "Why did you not have faith, Peter?" "I don't know. I saw you walking on it. The water's not frozen." And Peter shrugged with a puzzled look on his face and asked, "What could be wrong with my footing?"